Are you like me who likes to binge watch Netflix? Time to time. If so, hear me out. You've probably heard that binge watching dumps your brain. It's a waste of time. You're being very unproductive. You keep your brain wired without feeding it any useful information. Well, guess what? That's all true. But what I have come to learn and understand is that self-education in any area of your life really comes with this huge change in mindset and therefore in your actions. Because once you understand how things work, you take way different actions. So, do you think that, let's make an example of Marie Forleo. Do you think that Marie Forleo scrolls IG on her spare minute to see what others are up to? Or do you believe that Tony Robbins watches Friends for the 10th round every time before he goes to bed? I don't know, but I don't think so. What I think is that extraordinary success doesn't come from ordinary actions. What I have come to learn is that extraordinary is something you must crave and therefore create 24/7. And before you turn this video off and go about your day thinking, but I just need to relax, this sounds too much, 24/7, I need to do something? And it's so true, our brain needs to relax after a long work day. You do need to rewind down, or anything else that you tell yourself that you need as an excuse to binge watch. But listen to this. I've Googled the research, and what I came to learn is the potential risks that binge watching causes are behavioral addictions, sleep problems, and that's definitely something we need less of, psychological distress, which means depression, anxiety, listen to this, loneliness, and of course stress. So while you tell yourself that you are doing this because your friends are doing this, right? So you watch the same series and then you have something to talk about. So in your mind, what you are doing is you're telling yourself that you're doing is for connection, for community. This means you can discuss it after, so you belong to a group. You belong to something. When actually what you're doing, according to the research, is create the opposite effect, which is loneliness. Because most of us really binge watch alone. So instead of spending that time with your friends, with your family, with your kids, with your loved ones, you're sitting by the TV and spending it alone with yourself and the TV. So there's your connection. So what would my suggestion be? If you make Netflix or any other platform part of your daily routine, make sure you're watching something that feeds your brain. And that is absolutely possible, and you can actually enjoy it too. I would really suggest to avoid all the fictional, horror, violent TV and go for documentary. And I know a lot of you might say documentaries, I absolutely hate them. But listen, there are tons of good stuff to watch that you can actually learn from. Like there is this interview series with David Letterman where he interviews famous people like Billie Eilish, Barack Obama, Ellen, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, you must watch that. And I used to feel guilty about watching reality TV. I still watch it. But I'm okay with it because what I have done is I've taken my own advice and I have limited the time that I do it. And now I'm happy with the time that I spend doing it because I know that it's not consuming me. So I'm okay with it. But if you binge watch all day and then feel guilty because you haven't actually done any real work, that is it consuming you. You're giving away your attention to something that gives very little back, if nothing at all. If you still want to, choose wisely. It's all about changing your habits and exposing yourself to information that is more beneficial and less degrading. Once you start doing that, and I know this because I've done it. So once you start doing something that is productive, even when you're relaxing, productive, it's possible to put the two and two together. Once you start doing that, you will never go back and think, how could I watch 10 seasons of Friends over and over again? You might argue that you just want to relax. You had a long day of serving, creating, using your best abilities to help people. But let me tell you this, you're very wrong if you think that your brain is actually relaxing during you binge watching or scrolling after work before bed. I've tested it myself and I've read the research and it's not very promising. Because over time, binge watching really may harm your health in the ways that you may not expect. So, adding to what I already said from the research, it's very decreased physical activity because when we're doing binge watching, we're actually not doing anything. We're watching, right? So there's no physical activity. Of course, there is added stress, sleep problems, fatigue, heart problems, poor diet because we also tend to snack while we're doing it, behavioral addiction, what I already said, and cognitive decline. So yes, in truth, we do dump our brain. Maybe you have heard about TikTok brain. And this term is used to describe, let me just quickly see. TikTok brain is, this term is used to describe what is some of the negative aspects associated with this platform, including lower attention spans, right? Because TikTok is really about fast and appealing videos, so you just keep scrolling. Increased anxiety and depression. So pretty much the same thing, right? And that's definitely something that we need less of. And don't get me wrong, social media can be very, very useful. It can create unimaginable impact and change for better. And I'm doing that also. But we really need to be careful to understand what that for better means. Because we can very easily be dragged into this content that does really not serve us. So how to know a difference? Let me give you an idea. You like to follow someone who comes up with recipes. So you get ideas for your meals, you get some creative juices flowing, you start to think about what you're going to cook tomorrow or maybe for dinner, how delicious it's going to be, etc. In between those recipes, there are other popular videos that certain platforms choose to show us because it might interest us, right? And I'm doing the quote unquote because I want you to pay attention to the content that is being put in front of you without your permission, but as a suggestion. I want you to be mindful of the information that you allow to enter your mind. I had a discussion with a friend, and we were talking about these suggestions that continued to pop up. She was not sad or disappointed. She liked that information that kept coming. She liked that content. And while we were talking, she realized that she moved herself further away from the goal to go to bed calm, relaxed, and grounded. And listen to this. She noticed that, in fact, she gets more frustrated. Not like a huge drama kind of way, but just that inner feeling that there is injustice. There are a lot of things that we are not aware of, we don't know about. And that just caused her like that inner, tiny little stressy feeling. So I want to ask you a question. What makes you happier? When are you happier? What sort of information makes you motivated, lifted up, like you can conquer the world today? And now let me ask you this. When have you ever felt courageous, happy, lifted up, inspired after the evening news? Never. So why are you doing that to yourself? And by no means, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't be informed. But please put your well-being first and filter very wisely what you let in. I will leave you with that, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Until then, leave a heart and tell me what inspires you. Who lifts you up? Who do you follow? Who do you look up to? Who inspires you? Because you never know who might get inspired by that too. Share that in the comments, and till next time.